so you don't have a glare. Just a sec here. There you go. That's better. That way, you didn't have much of a glare. And this is NCAA football 06 game, and we'll show you that it is NCAA football 6. People say it's NCAA 6. It is NCAA football 6. We are doing the season this way. We'll have one for NCAA football 14, but the one way we have the FCS teams is if we do it in NCAA football 06. I don't know about 07 or 08 or 09. We'll get those games as well eventually. So, but until then, well, this is the way we can do those games where they're not called FCS Southwest whatever. They actually have the team's logos, nickname, and all that. This is Missouri State, which was back in the day South West Missouri State, I think. Yeah, Southwest Missouri State. And so these are the week 1 games. Temple and Arizona State, Oklahoma State in South Western Missouri State. Oklahoma State's schedule, we're going to, we're going to go back to Oklahoma State's schedule. Why Oklahoma State's schedule is not on there. Why Oklahoma State's schedule is not on there. Let's go back. Alright, here's Oklahoma State's schedule. Why I don't know it wasn't on there when we had to exit and come back into it. I don't know. Okay, so we have Oklahoma State taking on Southeastern Missouri State, and we have Boise State, Houston, and Grambling. So basically, I'll tell you, this is a kind of a mishmash of a season. It's combining several years of opponents in one schedule for the ultimate season. You have South West Missouri State or Missouri State. Games that was, which is now Missouri State basically. So those games were played. One was played in 2018. The other one, they've had several history of Oklahoma State taking on Missouri State or Southwest Missouri State. One was 2018. So these two first two teams were from 2018 scheduled. This one was 2009 scheduled along with Grambling. Couldn't quite get all of them. I would have to take out Boise State and Missouri State and put Georgia and Rice in there, but I didn't. Simply because I wanted to incorporate Missouri State in there because it was it's just been such a game that Oklahoma State has had in the past. So that's that. So Oklahoma State will take on those two teams, at least 4 teams. Back in 2005 when this game was made, this was for the 2005 season. Based off the 2005 season. Um, Hello to everyone if you're watching. This will go up on YouTube. Just to mention, this will go up on YouTube tomorrow. So, I'm just telling us NCAA Football 06 video. We'll put NCAA Football 06 Oklahoma State versus SMS, which is Southwest Missouri State, or I'll just say Missouri State to make it the current name for the team. So, and then you have your conference playing back then. Colorado wasn't the Big 12, so you have Colorado, Missouri, Texas A&M, Iowa State, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Baylor. Uh, so Oklahoma was not the last game of the season in this schedule, so that's a little bit more like it is now. I do not know who is calling me. I don't know anybody in Durant, Oklahoma. So, just leave it as is. If it's important, they'll leave a message, so voicemail. So, we'll take a look at the game info here for the entire season. Let's take a look at the entire info for the entire season. This one is for 8/27/05. So I think 05 or 06 Oklahoma State did play Missouri State. I would have to look at the schedule. Let me pull my iPad up here and look at the 2005 schedule for Oklahoma State to see who, as far as non-conference games were concerned, Oklahoma State played. If you're wondering, Oklahoma State 2005 schedule. This is for an Oklahoma State season, so we'll play some other games as well. It's not just Oklahoma State. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see here if I can find it here. That's not. Let's see here, that's a good one, but let's see if I can find the FPS. Let's see here. FP schedules, no, 2000 and okay, we'll have to go back and do this one. So it was Montana. Okay, so I was wrong. It was Montana State. Montana State is in the game. I could have done Montana State, Florida Atlantic, and Arkansas State. But and another fourth one. But Oklahoma State, I think they played in 2000 and let's see about 2006. What 2006? Yep, they played in 2006. So yeah, they played in 2006. So and that was the first year that I can remember them playing. I think they played in previous years in the 90s. You guys go back in the 90s and early 2000s and see. Uh, um, yeah, so you can go back into these old seasons. Like I went back in 1914 when their first season as a team only has here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. Majority of them were played on weekdays. You had the first 3 games were. If you look at the Oklahoma, I'm looking at the Oklahoma State's schedule, the Oklahoma A&M schedule. Back in the day, it was known as Oklahoma A&M. Back in the day, it was known as Oklahoma A&M, or so Oklahoma State slash Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, formerly known as Oklahoma A&M. Back their first season as a team in 1914, you had a game against Phillips, who Phillips University was a private coeducational higher education located in Enid. So, first 3 games were what was the North um, NOC North the Mavericks, the NOC Tonkawa. That is Northern Oklahoma College in Tonkawa. Apparently, back in the day, they had a football team. So the first 3 games in the schedule were on Fridays. One score. You don't kind of play this one. This one was uh 134 to nothing. So yeah. So 3 Friday games, Monday game, unusual. Then you had some more Friday games. Only one game was on Saturday back in the day. The rest were on Friday, Thursday, Tuesday, and Monday. Oklahoma was higher up on the schedule. So yeah, that was 1914. So you just go through all this. This is on the Oklahoma State athletics side. You can go through your team on your athletics side and find some of these historic games. I think too. I'm pretty sure they're on there as well. It's just fun to watch. Fun to go back and look at some of these. So there is a team called Haskell, and not the Haskell team that's high school in Oklahoma, but a college. Where they are located, they are located in Kansas. That's a school in Kansas. The other games were Oklahoma, TCU, Baylor, Northwestern Oklahoma State, or in NWOSO or NWOSU. They still have a team and play football still to this day. Baker, University Wildcats Field. Where's that? That's in Kansas as well. And then they had one. Then they had Missouri, Tulsa. Tulsa they've had for a long time on the schedule. They've had a long history playing Tulsa. There's one called Fringe University Falcons. That's an unusual name for a university. They're in the KCAC. I'm guessing that's a conference. That's in Wichita. That's part of the NAIA. They don't have a they don't have a football team anymore. It's men's basketball. They play baseball, softball, women's basketball, and men's basketball. Now, why am I talking about this? It's fun to go back and relive seasons that, or not relive, but that's what I'm it's fun to go back and see previous seasons, even of seasons before I was born. So. So, that's what I meant to say. What I'm trying to say is seasons, going back and seeing the seasons of the past, of the previous teams, and back in the day, if you will. So, it's fun to go back and see who Oklahoma State, formerly known as Oklahoma A&M, back when they first started. They first started in 1914, which is a while back. So, Oklahoma State has played UCO, so that's interesting. Southwestern Oklahoma State, Northwestern Oklahoma State, Central Missouri, Texas, Tulsa again, Baylor, and Oklahoma. They've had a long history with Baylor, Oklahoma, and Texas, and also Tulsa. And that UCO game was at UCO when I was in Edmonds. Which probably back then it was Central State. I'm assuming. So these are just past seasons. That was 1914 through 1916. So 2 years of playing UCO. And I don't know if that was the last time Oklahoma State and UCO met up. Nope. They played in 1918, so go through. This is on Oklahoma State Athletics site. You can go back on the seasons. As far back as it goes, I think it goes all the way back to 1914. That's pretty far back. That's definitely before my time. They played in the UCO in 1919. When was the last time Oklahoma State played UCO? I think it was 1919. Nope, there's 1922 they played him in Stillwater. 1922. Which one is that one? 1923 they played at UCO. So it wasn't like every year back in the day. They didn't have 12 games season either. They were ties as well. There's teams I don't even think have teams anymore. So, I mean, I think now I'm looking at it, I think that was the last one I think I've seen of Oklahoma City University. So that was a year of 2 Oklahoma teams. I think 3 maybe. Nope, 2. No, 3. Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City. 1928 season. Where I'm getting this from is the Oklahoma State.com, the athletic site. I didn't know that back in the day, Oklahoma City University had a football team. So I'm thinking that was it as far as the UCO games. Not seeing any others against UCO. That's what I'm looking for, as I didn't know that the Oklahoma State played. Oh, wait, I was wrong. 1932 was another season. It was another year. There was a lot more games back then. Let's see here in 1932, they started adding more games. Yeah, that was I think the first season we had 12. I think the 1932 or so is when they first started doing 12 games as far as I can tell from this website. Yeah. In 33 they played UCO. Now UCO is Division 2. I don't think teams play Division 2 schools anymore. They play either FCS or I don't know if they were always Division 2 or they were Division 1 back. UCO or Central State was known as Central State back in the day. I think 32 was the last one I saw. Nope, wait. 1938 they played them and won. Oakland State, that is. Oops. I'm skipped over 1941 by mistake there. 1940 they played them. I didn't know Denver had a football team or Norman Naval Air Station. I never even heard of Norman Air Station. Norman Naval Air Station. Unless I saw this on this football schedule thing. So. I know there was a West Texas A&M. I know there was a Texas A&M, but West Texas A&M. A lot of stuff I didn't know. Maybe a lot of stuff you didn't know, but I think we've already passed the days of the UCO era. Let me go back to 43 and see if that was the last one. Or 42, I mean. So let's go back to 42. 42, I think. Was it 42 or 41? Could have been 30. Yeah, 40. 1940. Was that the last one? We did 45. So 1940. Was that the last time Oklahoma State played UCO? I know in the last 10 years they haven't played them. I think Oklahoma State has played any Division 2 school in the last 10 years. This is from Oklahoma State Athletics, if you're wondering where I'm getting this from. Didn't know Wichita State played football. I don't think they do now, but they used to. So, what I meant to say was going back and looking back on some of the throwback seasons, throwback years for Oklahoma State is what I was trying to say and what I meant to say earlier. So, wanted to clarify that. Let's see here. I think that was it. Against the ECOs in 1940. Yeah, UCO didn't have a team in this game. Yeah, I think that's the last one that they played. UCO. Then they had more normal opponents in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. So yeah, 1940 would probably be, correct me if I'm wrong. People who follow history and our sports history, people do like going back and looking at historical seasons and past seasons of NCAA football and NFL football. If um, anybody knows for sure, was 1940 the last year Oklahoma State played UCO in a season, a regular season? Um, Because according to the Oklahoma State Athletics site, 2000 and, or sorry, not 2000, 1940 was the last one according to the site. That's the only way I am going basing it off of, unless I type in Oklahoma State versus UCO and see what comes up. But anybody who studies college football stuff in past seasons and likes going back to previous seasons, let me know in the comment section below. Uh, I like uh, I like going back to previous seasons of college football and of pro football and seeing how teams have progressed or stayed the same or fallen apart, and some have collapsed and don't have any teams anymore. Um, some schools that may not be in existence anymore as well. Even back before my time. So that's what I did, and that's what I meant to say. That's what I was doing, was going back through um, back through not what I wanted to do. Um, so um, yeah, it's an NCAA 6. Uh, so that's what we were doing. It was just going back and looking at the previous seasons for Oklahoma State, formerly known as Oklahoma A&M. The reason why I know they were formerly known as Oklahoma A&M is I have a throwback shirt that they made a year or two or so ago, and looking back at the school's history as well, which I like doing. I like looking at the school's history for football and for just the school as in general. So, and Aaron going back and saying this is Oklahoma State history and stuff. You can Google the Oklahoma State history, or look us up on Wikipedia and find the history on your favorite school. You can do it for Oklahoma State. You can do it for Arkansas, Texas, whatever your favorite school is. Even if it's a Division II school, you can go back and look at the history of it and the history of their football program, if they have a football program still to this day. Um, um, that's what I was trying to say. I did not mean to say relive. I meant to say go back and learn about the school's history and the past seasons, and look at about it or into it on the internet as far as past scores and past information is concerned from these universities of NCAA football, and the same goes for NFL. So you can look up your favorite NFL team, if you have a favorite NFL team, or just in the NFL history in general, or the NCAA football in general, or just the history of football in general, where it's football of any sport, you know, at the lower level and the higher level of play. So you'll see more Dynasty mode stuff. You'll see more game modes, like quick mode, race for Heisman, spring drills, so on and so forth. Game. We'll have a lot of rivalry games, practice games, mascot games. We'll just gonna dive into the stuff. The online stuff you won't see, but anything else you probably will see. But the most of the one you're going to see most of is Dynasty mode. So, anything on your screen, it's the menu, the game modes menu with some clips from football games in in college football history. So, whether they're really big historical games or just games that were a part of this that season in that time era. Just to show you football that's not the video game football, that's the real life. With you'll have your favorite team's logo down here, and also here in the actual main menu. This shows you the play now, game modes, game features, say tutorials, EA Sports extras. All that is in this one here, and then when I showed you what was on that other one. So yeah, you can create teams in this game as well. So that's the fun part. Create teams, create game day signs. I think. Signs you have around the stadium during the game. Or season if you do it during Dynasty mode. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy looking at the history of football on the internet, and of course reading about it on the internet as well as in books, and playing the old NCAA football video games as well. That are on the 360, the original Xbox system. Hopefully they'll make a new NCAA football game in the next couple of years. But I know we have Madden with Space of the franchise, and this is another cool part of it. You have these demos you can see into it. The announcers are Lee Corso, Corp Shortstreet, and Brad Nessler. And you have is two guys from the game day crew, and they'll show you the weather report. They don't show you the attendance, but they show you the weather report. You just have to make up an attendance if you feel like it's a sold out crowd or near capacity or whatever. I know in Safe Football 2K3 there you did have the attendance. You show the teams coming out of the tunnel. you saw the information on that team. That's Georgia and Georgia Tech, the big rivalry in the state of Georgia. But he'll pick on the. Well, of course, he'll put on the headgear pit. Do his headgear prediction in this game or helmet prediction if they don't have a mascot head. So there is, you see him picking Georgia in that one between Georgia and Georgia Tech. So it can be an obvious choice of who I think is going to, or it could be just a choice. This is what the scoreboard would look like, and the graphics would look like in the game. It's pretty good for a 2005 game, even though it's NCAA Football 6. It was put out in 2005, so it was a year prior. So I mean, this is what the game looks like, and as far as the stadiums are pretty realistic, as far as each team's stadium is concerned. You can create a school and do all that stuff that says on the create a school there you saw on the screen. So it's good to look back and study and look up some of the past stuff of college football video games and college football in real life, and go on the internet and look up scores from way back early on of the college football of your team. Of these 100 years of college football, some teams started later, some teams started early on. Whatever your favorite team is, look it up. Of course, mine is Oklahoma State. So that's why I was looking at Oklahoma State stuff. It just playing the demo mode, and that's Houston and Rice. That's two teams in the state of Houston. Actually, those are in-state, in-conference games. So they're an in-state rivalry, an in-city rivalry, and an in-conference rivalry. So you have a rivalry on 3 different levels of play. So not only is it an in-state rivalry, but an in-city rivalry and an in-conference rivalry. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. We'll have more NCAA Football 06 stuff like this. We're just showing you kind of some demo mode stuff on when I play demo modes, and I'll occasionally go back and hit this so it'll pick a new demo game to play if you let it go too long on the menu screen. But it's fun to go back and see what the older NCAA football games looked like, and also go on to YouTube and watch some of these older football games that have highlights or clips or stuff from that season. And they'll show them on ESPNU sometimes as well. So it's fun to go back and look at this as far as on the internet and the video games and on TV and the scores online on the athletic sites and Wikipedias and so I mean that's That's a lot of fun. Um, so who is this? They're showing Army and Air Force. That's a good matchup between the two military teams right there. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to go back on the schedules. I have some of these schedules when I started following football. So there were pocket schedules that just fold up and fit in your pocket. Basically, they're not that big. Um, see what he's going to do as far as the prediction. He's going with Air Force. I like Air Force. I like Army too, but I like Air Force. My main team's Oklahoma State though. So, um, I know it's kind of a lengthy video, and I've made some mistakes, and I've should have phrased it in certain ways. I didn't. So if you're just tuning into this premiere video or live video on Twitch, um, what I meant to say was looking back on college football season past for certain teams, in this case Oklahoma State. That's all I meant to say. So that's good there. So that'll do it for me. Until next time, this has been the YouTuber, aka Oklahoma State Dodgers 22. Sign off. Until next time.